I've had a heat wave coming through here. Yesterday was 111, and today is not going to be much better. So, what do we do on days like this? Well, get your uniform on and you just build it. Today, I'm building one of those drainage trays that James talking about. So, let's do this. Hello, DIY Chameleon community. I am here with Mr. James Cross. Hello, Mr. James Cross. How you doing?
Hey, hey, Bill. I'm doing great. How about yourself, buddy?
You know what? I've had quite the adventure. But first, I got to ask, what's the temperature in that garage of yours?
Well, it's cooling off a little bit, but we hit about 121 today in the garage, 107
Yikes.
outside.
Yeah, it has been so bad around here. I don't know why I was crazy enough to say, okay, I'm going to do an outdoor project, but you know what? That's what we do.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Well, I want to talk about that outdoor project. This is going to be a lessons learned episode as I take what we talked about and implement it and see what it looks like when it's actually translated through my understanding. So,
That sounds like a fun episode.
all
Let's
right,
see what you can
excellent.
do.
Now, okay, I'm going to set the stage here. We got to set the stage so everybody knows what's going on. I
Okay.
have these baby cages back here, which each has a baby brevicorn, Kaluma brevicorn. And the thing is, I'm going to be bringing up an a photo here because I want to show you the bottom of the cage as to why. I just got to set the scenario.
Okay, scenario.
That's right. Here you go. Here you go. Okay, so this is what the bottom of these cages look like. There's a drain that's about an inch and 3/4 that goes down, and so any drainage tray that's going to go under this is got to have a standoff that gives that clearance for the drainage. And I guess just going back to the beginning, the reason why we have a drainage issue going on is because I need a way to get the water that coalesces inside the cage from the fogging or the misting, and it's got to go somewhere. I want to get it out of the cage and into a drainage tray. So I need a drainage tray. These are on. You can actually see them back here. These are on a baker's rack, and so I need a drainage tray that fits on the baker's rack. Right now, these are 2x3s, and under the drain, I just have some of those plant saucers. So I
Mm-hmm.
need a permanent solution.
Yeah, and this is a different way of doing it because you can't attach to the bottom of that drain and run it into some tubing. You've got to actually run it into a shallow area because you don't have the room being on that baker's rack
Yeah.
for
Now, of
drainage
course,
system.
I could have a 6 inch a platform there, and I could make a
Mm-hmm.
platform so we could have the drainage tubes, but I don't want to use up that space. This is good enough for me. And say I can use a shop vac, a wet dry vac, suck up all the water. That's good enough for me. Now, let's just also keep in mind that James is being uh, kind enough that those drainage trays that we made last episode, those are actually coming to me and will be the permanent drainage trays. But I wanted to try it out.
Yep.
So
That's how you learn, right? You got to try it
that
yourself.
is definitely how we learn. And let's see, we'll get that out of there. And okay, you ready? You ready?
Okay. Let's see
All
this thing.
right. Oh, there we
Wow.
go.
Look at that.
There is a drainage tray. Although it's kind of hard to see it also. You know what? I'm going to bring up a picture
Okay.
so we can see it on. There we go. So that's what it looks like. And it has a lower entry in the front. There's a lower wall in the front, and that's so I can get the wet dry vac nozzle in there. And then there's 2x3s that are all around the side and back, and some standoffs in the middle because this is there are 3 cages, and so they're going to need some support for all sides. So let's see. Let's
So
let's.
you've sloped this from the back to the front.
There is no slope. This is a flat
Oh,
one.
okay. Flat.
So
Okay, I
yeah,
get it.
this does not have any of those whiz bang features that you put in yours. The only thing I am hoping for is that this is waterproof.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and take a look at the materials.
Okay.
So I was looking for, I mean, all of the standoffs, like 2x3s, I had these, and I had the wood and stuff, but I needed the bottom here, and so I
Mhm.
went to that holiest of places, Home Depot,
Yes.
and I was looking for something that I could put on the bottom. Now I could do plywood, and
Mm-hmm.
that's no problem, but that's thick and that's heavy. And the thing is, this is not going to be weight bearing. This is going to be on a baker's rack, as you can see. I don't know if you can see, baker's
Yeah.
rack back there, and so the bottom's really not weight bearing. All it has to do is hold the standoffs in place and support Flex Seal. So
Well, Flex Seal's not very heavy, Bill.
that's right. What is this stuff, James? I found that it was $10 for a sheet that was 4 feet by 2 feet. What is this?
Yes, that's called cabinet backing material.
All right.
Basically, we just use that to put on the backs of cabinets. It's just to give something to be on the back instead of your wall, and it's very inexpensive. It's used on the back of dressers and cabinets and things of that sort.
All right. So to do the waterproofing, I don't think there's any question as to what I am going to be doing. I will be using Flex Seal. Now I'll
No,
be doing what?
Flex Seal.
Yeah, have you ever heard of that?
I I never heard of it.
This is some real cool stuff. You can find this at Home Depot.
Really?
Hey, maybe I'll send you some for Christmas. So, uh, but I got they come in two forms. This is the I don't call it manual form. What do I call it? Liquid rubber,
Liquid. That's
liquid
the
form.
liquid.
Okay,
Yes.
and then I got a chip brush. Now, this is the real cheap stuff, like $1 for that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
this is the lessons learned here. Yes, it is cheap, but boy, does that thing shed! And I've got brush bristles or hairs all through my drainage tray.
Texture. You added some
I
texture.
added texture. So not only that, but
There
I
you
also
go.
got myself
The
the
spray.
aerosol spray.
Yep.
Is it
So I
aerosol?
like using the liquid on the bottom because it covers a lot better, and I like to use the spray for the walls because it doesn't drip down the walls. It'll actually adhere when you spray it on.
Yeah, I will say, as I adhered it, as I put it on, the I was not able to get into the corners when I was using the liquid.
Mm-hmm.
It went great on the bottom, no problem. I was not able to get it into the corners, and so I was very glad that I bought the spray version. So that worked out very well. Now, this is where we try to start getting into a little bit of uh, a problem.
What
So
problem did you have, Bill?
I just had to really cake on the the Flex Seal, and I ended up getting this these pretty ugly corners here, which just
Mm-hmm.
because when I would spray the Flex Seal on the sides, it would it would flow down, so it wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
adhere perfectly. And I ended up with these really ugly corners here. But I don't care how it looks. I really want it to just
Oh
seal.
no, we always care how it looks, Bill.
Okay, well,
Let me
okay.
ask you something, Bill.
Yes,
Were
sir.
you outside doing this?
Yes, I was outside and it was a freaking hot day. We were in the hundreds and I
So
was
let
out
me
doing
tell you
this.
what I think happened to you. Your
Okay.
Flex Seal was starting to set up before you were able to finish doing what you were doing. And what I can see there is it's got a contrast of being dry and wet. And so you're getting these blobs
Hmm.
from the dry material and then the wet materials over the top of it. One thing that I found about the Flex Seals is that it will start setting up on you if it's windy or warm. So that's why I always try to do it indoors in a cooler temperature. It gives you time to spread the material out without causing that.
Yeah, well, okay. So that's something for me to consider in the future. But I, of course, yes, I know we always care about how it looks, but for this one, I wanted the experience. I just cared about the functionality, and so all I cared about is that when I put water in it, that it held the water and it didn't leak.
Well, that's the main purpose, right? So how'd you do, Bill?
Okay, so here we go.
Okay, looks like you
Okay.
might have had a slight issue.
Oh, but you know what? Let's do a tour.
Okay,
Let's
let's do one.
look at that. Look at that great photography there. You can see the drop of water suspended in midair. Look at that.
Oh my goodness, it's I can see my reflection in it.
I mean, this is just soulful. This is great
Yes.
photography here.
It's so you're making I thought you were making a drainage tray, not a dripper.
Well, it's draining. Okay.
Yeah. All over the floor. Yvette's gonna kill you. Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, so this is the I mean, obviously, what the problem is the Flex Seal did not go in into the creases. The connection between the two by threes and this cabinet backing. I mean, I screwed it in. These weren't even nails. I screwed it in because I mean either one would be fine. I just happen to have screws, and
Hmm.
so I assumed okay, that's a pretty good tight fit, and then I'm going to just overdo it. I'm going to just slab this stuff on both the liquid and then spray into that all the seams, and so I would think if this were a rational world that that would have been successful.
Well, let me ask you a question, Bill. Did you silicone the edges?
I did not. Um,
um, did you not watch the video?
Apparently, I
What
didn't
was the
watch it
second thing I
carefully enough.
did, Bill?
All right, for first you okay. So I can explain. Okay, so the answer to that question to all those in the audience is first he cut the corrugated plastic and lined the entire inside with corrugated plastic, and then he ran a silicone bead to connect all the plastic pieces. Now, your boy Bill Strand says, "Hey, you know what? I bet you I can do this with Flex Seal." And so I didn't do the plastic. I think, okay, that's this Flex Seal, it's making a rubber layer. Why do I need the plastic? And then I say, okay, but then the silicone that's to connect or seal in the plastic.
No, Bill. Okay,
Apparently,
so the
I was
the
incorrect.
silicone bead is pretty much the second most important thing next to the structure. And the reason being is Flex Seal is a liquid and it's just going to run through. And if it has a way to get through, it's going to leave air pockets as it's going through. That bead of silicone that you're putting all the way around the inside edge and up in the corners, that's actually sealing the corner. The Flex Seal is just to keep the water from penetrating into the wood, not to keep it from leaking out. That silicone was the most important step you skipped there, mister.
All right. So this is why
Ah.
we call this lessons learned. It would have been a boring episode if there were no lessons learned. So
so so uh So
All right.
you cut some corners, huh, Bill? Is that what you're telling me?
I cut the wrong corners.
Yeah.
I, I, I think it would work without the corrugated plastic, but apparently, uh,
Hmm.
it wouldn't work without the silicone bead.
Yeah, the corrugated plastic is a bit of an extra, and like we've said in the past, I think it would work fine on top of wood. But I always, you know, being as it's going in your house, I don't want that phone call in the middle of the night, especially from Yvette. She's always such a happy soul, and I would hate to have her cross at me. Cross,
Yeah, well,
cross at me. So, you know, I
well,
would not
James,
let her see that video if you were smart.
I presently I am not in a position to poo-poo anything that you've done. So,
uh,
yes, sir. Yes,
uh,
sir.
I want a T-shirt with that dripping edge. Okay, I'm gonna wear that to Madagascar.
Can I just say at the bottom, James was right.
That would be
Okay,
awesome.
James, the
Hear me now,
question
believe me later.
I want the question now.
Okay.
Can this be saved? I- Is can I just spray more Flex Seal on and just gob up the whole? How do I? Can I save this?
You know, you went through all the effort. I would say toss it in the trash and start over. But since you went through all the effort and you've got $30 worth of Flex Seal on it already, yeah, I think it can be saved. I think what I would do if it was me doing it, trying to save it, I think the first thing I would do is get out my can of lacquer thinner, and I would get myself a nice clean rag, something that doesn't fur up, so to speak, and I would clean all of those corners and edges as best I could. And I think I would just do a little section at a time. So I would clean a corner, clean an edge, and then squirt that silicone in there. And you're going to want to force it into that corner so that it fills any gaps. And then, of course, you know, the old trick, we got to finger that thing, because if your finger doesn't push it in tight, it won't adhere. It'll sit on top of the surface. And then I
Okay.
would just continually work my way around it. And once I completed that, I think I would go ahead and put another thin layer of Flex Seal on top of that, and then go ahead and spray those edges one more time, and then let it dry out thoroughly. I think that that is very possible that you could save it. I'm not going to make you any promises because it's like trying to fix a band aid. But I think, I think you might be able to save it.
All right. What is the purpose for going over it with the lacquer
Lacquer
thinner?
thinner.
Yeah.
Well, lacquer thinner is a real industrial cleaner, and what it'll do is it'll take up any oils or anything that any dirt or debris that's in the corners. And you know, you even have oils on your fingers, and if you touch something before you go to silicone it with your fingers, and then just put the silicone on, it has a tendency to not stick at that spot. When you wipe it with the lacquer thinner, it cleans it down to its original source. Plus, the nice thing about lacquer thinner is it evaporates right away, so it leaves absolutely no residue, and
Okay.
that's going to give you a guaranteed seal between you whatever you're siliconing. You know, I always do the same thing when I'm doing showers or glass surrounds for showers and bathtubs. It's the same principle. I always wipe that thing down with the lacquer thinner first, and then I apply my bead, because the lacquer thinner is going to completely evaporate, and then what you have left is just the two materials, no oils.
Okay. All right. And so, do you think I should try to save it? I still got. I've got to buy another can of Flex Seal of the spray Flex Seal, and
Uh
I
huh.
still have enough of the liquid Flex Seal. Is it really worth trying to save this, or should I just start over?
You know, you're going to do it again. I might start over. Um, if I was going to do it all from the start, and you have to buy more material. If you have any left, you know, then but you should start doing what I do, and I just keep Flex Seal on hand.
You just That is not surprising one bit.
So I'm just saying, I don't have to go to the store for Flex Seal. Huh?
Oh, all right.
What? Hey, want to see something cool?
What's that? Oh, yes. Oh, that's the drainage tray from last week. Yes, I want to see something cool.
Want to put water in it?
Dang straight I do.
Let's do this.
All
Let
right.
me show you what it's supposed to look like, Bill, when you're done. Okay, I haven't touched this since last week. I just put a little bit of Flex Seal on top. I went ahead and left it a little bit bare just so that you can see that I still have that polycarbonate on the inside. And if you look at all the edges, there's no goopy goops. Okay. And we're
Whatever.
going to try to fill this guy up with water and see what happens. What do you think?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, we're going to turn the valve off. Remember that valve we put into the wood?
I do remember that valve.
Okay. Sean McNeely said I can't work.
He did.
No, but he questioned me all right.
All right. Well,
Let's prove him wrong, Bill.
let's do it.
Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm
Can you
sitting
see?
down. I need the popcorn.
Okay. Here we go. We're going to use the official bucket
Is
of
that
the
real
pod.
water, man? None of this
The
movie magic
official.
stuff. I want real water.
Okay. This is
I
the
did a
magic water.
Fogfather bucket.
Here we go.
Oh, look at that. Oh, it
Now,
looks
of
so
course,
peaceful.
we're not going to have this full of water all the time. We're going to.
That's a meditation pool, James. It's it's so peaceful.
I'm just curious. Do you notice anything different about this one compared to the one that you were building?
You know what?
What? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Look.
Yeah, you don't have all the great opportunities for great photography. That's it.
I'm not the Rain Man, Bill.
Guys, guys, you gonna let him do this? You're there in the chat. Defend me.
Rain Man, 3549.
Oh man.
All right. It
Oh, that
obviously
is
holds water,
nice.
but what's the coolest part about doing
The
this?
coolest part is we need to try that valve to make sure it works.
Right? So let's see what this does.
And you had that sloped and everything. So this is like the acid test here.
Here we go.
Oh wow. Oh man, that is cool. That is so cool.
And if you notice, it's draining from the back. It's already drying. See how it's draining?
Yep. Yep.
And if you watch it, it's literally coming from the back to the front, and it's almost dry behind it as it flows.
Oh, that is so cool.
Right? So next time somebody tells you you can't make a drainage tray out of wood, you tell them bullpucky. I saw the video.
I'm gonna prove it. All right. I'm gonna do one of my own.
I know you are. You know, it's always doing that first one and trying to use your own wit, and then, you know, yeah. Then you take some advice from the guy that's done it for a while, and you kind of go, okay, and you
All
humble
right.
yourself, and you go back and you watch the video, and you do it right the second time, and you go, gosh darn it, it worked. Huh?
So boring doing it the right way.
Yeah, but think of the money you'll save.
This Flex Seal's not cheap.
I know. That is one of the drawbacks to it, but you know, when you're thinking about your house and your furniture, it's worth the money.
Well, yeah, it's got to actually hold water.
You know, look at that sucker. Draining away. It's all going to the front. None of it's staying in the back.
Oh, that is so nice. Look at that, how smooth that is.
We'll get a couple more for you shortly, Bill. Next
Oh,
time we get together, I'll hand them over.
that is so cool.
Huh?
The little brave baby brevicorns are going to be happy.
Yep. Huh?
Ah, all right. Well, we can wait. Well, I don't know. We don't have to wait till it totally dries. We'll just have that in the background ambiance.
Right?
So, all right. Well, okay. Let's go over the lessons learned today.
Okay.
First of all, we can have thin board at the bottom. It's not
Wait, wait,
weight
wait,
bearing.
wait. I think the first and most important thing to remember is follow instructions.
All right.
All
Watch
right, go
the
ahead.
video. Do as James says, not as I do. All
Hear me
right.
now,
That's
believe me
number one.
later.
Fine. Jeez. All right. And okay, so the board, the Flex Seal, it's a great to use the spray because that gets into corners.
Uh huh.
But before you do, so buy the Flex Seal, but before you apply the Flex Seal, use a bead of silicone in all of the seams, the connection points, and then don't do it when it's dry or hot. Bring it indoors or do it in the evening so the Flex Seal doesn't start
Yep. You want those
quickly
temperatures
starting.
cooler. You don't want it to start setting up before you finish. Gives you plenty of time. The cooler temperatures give you plenty of time to spread it nice and evenly, and it ends up self leveling pretty much itself once you get it all straight in there.
All right, and I think that's it as far as I
Yep.
can.
And then you just spray your outside edges. Again, horizontal is good for the spray. Bottom is good for the liquid.
Oh, and by the way, everybody saw this was all black. I spray painted the outside. I did not spray that with Flex Seal. So if it was not going to be exposed to water, that was actually paint. So
And that's what I'm going to be doing with these two. The outside of them will get painted with I'm using an exterior latex satin to make it kind of match the plastic.
oh,
It does
nice.
it with the roller. It really gives almost that same PVC look when you get done painting it.
Okay, nice,
I
nice.
know. You won't
So
even know it's there, Bill. It'll look like it's part of the cage.
wonderful. So I think the biggest lesson learned here is okay. Yeah, it didn't work the first time, but this was easy. This whole thing was easy, and if I had just done the silicone bead, which now everybody here will do,
Silicone bead.
this was just an afternoon project, and I got myself a drainage tray.
Yep.
So that was that's cool.
And it's pretty cool that you can make it any size you want. So any
Yeah,
cage you can make it to go underneath because you're the one making the cage itself. And
yeah.
it's everything can be bought right at Home Depot. It's not like you have to go hunting down the different kinds of plastic and so on and so forth. Just some 1x3 and some panel back, and you're ready to go.
Yeah, so I this was a very fun project. I'm really glad I did it, and I will decide whether I'm going to redo it or if I'm going to try to save it. But you know what? I really do want to redo it so I do it right and have that satisfaction of knowing, okay, yeah, I did it right, and I think it's worth it
I think you
to.
could start an episode of one of the lives with just a full tray of water.
Oh yeah.
Don't say anything about it. Just put it on there and let's see if anybody notices.
So if everybody realizes the
Put
significance
some
of this
tranquil music
victory.
in the background and flick your fingers on the surface to make ripples. uh,
I like this. All right, everybody. That's what I'm going to be. That's what I'm going to work on. So, but I'm going to do it
awesome.
when.
And there you have it. It's drained
Oh,
itself completely dry. Well, a little bit in the corner, but it's because of the table I'm sitting on. Huh?
that's nice. But one thing I will do is I will wait until this heat wave is over.
Good idea.
We're going to be getting between 100 and 110 tomorrow. So Not going to do it tomorrow.
Nope.
So, all
Tomorrow's the
right
air
then,
conditioning in the house day.
James, we need some words of wisdom and encouragement for the people.
People, first of all, just know that you're not going to do it right the first time. We've been here before. It's part of the learning process to make mistakes. Bill had fun with his mistake. That made it even more fun. Eventually, you're going to start picking these things up, and it's going to become an old hat. And there's only one way to be able to do these things by yourself, and that's to just build it.
Words of wisdom. All right, everybody. We'll see you later.
Get out of here.